Yes, little bit of it. So I will be asking one very important question from our young generation. So what is common among trips that we have been talking about like 4 days? You have not attended, I'm sure, the talk. But can you tell me what is common? What is common in trips? Like last 4 days, human beings. Clap for her, please. Human beings. And what?
See, this is telepathy, you will understand.
And what is common among humans? Intelligence, yes. Emotions. See, one more clap for our Veda. So this is one of the most important things, because in a environment, whether we are at home, whether we are at work or in transition, everywhere we are interacting with humans who are filled with these emotions. Emotions are nothing but energy in motion. Sometimes it is a good energy and sometimes it is not so good energy. And when we are in research labs and in classes or in situations, we have seen so many leaders here talking about so much of good work. But it cannot happen if there is no collaboration, if you don't understand each other. And so I will be bringing your attention back into something very counterintuitive right now, emotional intelligence, because it's intelligence about your own emotions and how you identify others' emotions as well. We'll try to little bit of figure it out. So, as we understand, emotional intelligence is nothing but understanding and managing our own emotions, and that to others as well. It is not as common, just like as common sense. So it is only 1 in 5 that has high emotional intelligence. We have seen Professor Sharma being a very, very high emotional intelligent leader. We have seen Sandeep, we have seen Vinisha, we have seen so many such leaders here, sitting here, who have high emotional intelligence, but not everybody has that. And Harvard and Yale University's research shows that any leadership, it is 58% of emotional intelligence that matters. It's not the technology, it's not what you are driving, it is what you bring to the table, how you present yourself and how the work is done together in collaboration. And recently, Google has this Aristotle project where they did this study among 180 teams, where again they identified that the most important factor among leadership was not IQ, was not experience, was not tenure. It was psychological safety. So psychological safety is again emotional intelligence. So when somebody feels safe to express, how many of you have that, especially again from my students' friend, how many of you feel safe to express yourself when you are asking questions, or when you have an idea? Do you have that capacity to go and tell to your professor that I have this idea without being fear of getting shut down? No, this is not a good one. Do you guys experience that? Are you able to express yourself? No? Yes? No. Mostly no. Right? So this is something that we have to slowly develop in ourselves. Very quickly, 4 pillars of emotional intelligence. First is self-awareness. How many of you are aware of your own emotions? How are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? If I ask, especially again to new generation, if I ask, how are you feeling? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't know what they are feeling. And most of us are also not understanding what we are feeling. When we are sad, when we are angry, when we are anxious, we don't know actually, because we are not checking in. We are not actually asking ourselves, how am I feeling? Why am I reacting like this today? What happened? कुछ तो झगड़ा घर पे करके ऑफिस में आकर के स्टूडेंट को फ्रस्ट्रेट करते हैं आकर के, right? So that is where if you become intelligent about it, then you can create a boundary around it as well. Second one is self-regulation. That is what it is. Once you understand, then you have that agility to actually let it go and break this barrier between your experiences and others. And that is where comes the empathy. Empathy is getting into someone else's shoes and understanding that, okay, this is needed from their point of view. There is nothing absolutely right or wrong. It is just perspective. Maybe what this side of the room is finding right is very wrong for this side of the room, right? Because their worldview is very different and this side worldview is very different. So we have to have that empathy as a leader, as a professor, as a researcher. We have to have that empathy कि अच्छा हम भी बच्चे थे तो हम ऐसा करते थे. So we have to have that. And same way our students have to have that kind of empathy. It's fine ना, मेरे पापा भी तो चिल्लाते रहते हैं, एक इधर भी चिल्ला दिया तो क्या हो गया. So we have to have that kind of understanding between each one of us. And that brings us to social skills. Once we understand ourselves, once we understand others, then we have good social skills to interact as a team, as a unit, as a nation. And these are very important conversations because I am taking example from Satya Nadella. We have immense examples in India as well. This was a very superpower example. That's why I picked it up. Here, he has shown emotional intelligence through self-awareness. When he joined Microsoft, he changed the whole dialogue from know it all to learn it all. And that is where they started coming up with a lot of good solutions. He used empathy, and he has been very vocal about talking about it, that his son had cerebral palsy, and he could understand that there is importance of listening and understanding to someone else instead of just putting your own things forward. And that is where he empowered his teams to understand the customer behavior more than pushing the technology that you have. And the last one is resilience. So when they lost big projects, they did not blame the culture of the past CEOs and all that. He picked it up, okay, fine, whatever it is, let's do it. And that is the result, what he has done, from $300 billion to $3 trillion economy, right? I am going to give you very, very small micro habits very quickly. How much time? Yeah, 3 minutes. Okay. So, quick habits, emotional check-ins. Emotional check-ins are important. What I would like you all to do, to have emotional vocabulary. If I ask somebody, say, let me ask, how about you? How are you feeling now? Great? Okay. How about you? How are you feeling now? Good. Good. How are you feeling?
You're fine.
You're fine. Okay, how about you?
I am.
So this is what it is. We have to increase our vocabulary because we are stuck between good, fine, not okay, okay. We have to have a range of emotions. I am excited, I am thrilled, I am sad, I am anxious. Once you label it, then you will be able to resolve that as well, because that brings awareness. I am not feeling that good today. So fine, कोई आपको पूछता है कैसे हो? हाँ बढ़िया है. We are not बढ़िया. We are actually having a bad day and we are saying हाँ बढ़िया है. So let us have some vocabulary layers, and that is where it will be helpful for us to gauge for ourselves and for others as well. कि अच्छा ठीक है, एक तो great बोल रहा था, एक good बोल रहा है, तो maybe I need to talk to him and ask कि क्या चल रहा है. What is not so great about today? So that is something about emotional check-ins. Definitely 360-degree listening, very important. When you are listening to anybody, put down your phones. Put down your awareness back to the person that you are talking. और ये सबसे tough है आज के डेट में, नहीं होता हमसे क्योंकि हमको capacity ही नहीं है सुनने की. We cannot listen to people, right? And that is where you have to practice it with one person in your family or a friend. Just put your phone down and listen completely. Listen to their body language, listen to their emotions, listen to their energy, listen to the backstory which that person is not telling you. That will help you again develop that skill to even understand the non-verbal communications as well. Like I was sitting here, standing here, and Veda was sitting there, and we could communicate. That is what, because we communicate like that, so we could communicate without saying as well. That is where it will develop as a leader for you. That will be very handy. And then comes pause, reflect, and respond. So when in conflict, pause. And how do we do that? Because usually, I am not sure, anybody sees anger coming? Have you seen anger coming? Frustration coming? Can you label it before it is coming? कि अच्छा अभी आने वाला है, अब मुझे गुस्सा आने वाला है, instead of just blasting, right? So that is that pause. That here that pause is not coming. I guess is not coming from this side because अभी हम लोग practice नहीं किया है. So that is where you have to pause. And here a very simple breathing exercise that can be used for my friends. You can have by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. Okay, that helps a lot. That helps you to bring your awareness back into this moment. If you want, we can do it together. If not, then we can do it some other time. But try to do that. Breathing exercises works like charm. Sleeping meditations work like charm. Music works like charm. And for that, we have something very special today. We will be talking about that as well.
That's the idea.
चलो हम ये करेंगे. तुम्हारे पास टाइम नहीं है, टाइम नहीं है, नहीं कर पाएंगे. आपको मैं अलग से कराती हूँ, आप दूसरे को कंट्रोल कराती हूँ. So then comes the mindfulness. That is where that mindfulness comes in. So mindfulness is nothing but paying attention in the present moment on purpose without judgment. So I'm not judging. Whatever you are telling, whatever it is, I am in present moment on purpose without judgment. And if we can practice that, that is the last step of emotional intelligence. That is where we actually can separate ourselves from others. If somebody is telling that the lab or whatever experiment you have done is not good, they are not telling you're not a good person. They are telling that experiment is not good. That's all. जैसे घरों में होता है चाय बनाए चाय अच्छी नहीं बनी चाय में चीनी नहीं है तो चाय में चीनी नहीं है that doesn't mean that you are a bad wife. We can't separate ourselves from that event itself, right? We have to learn that. That is where when you become non-judgmental, you will be able to take feedback very positively. Okay, fine, maybe there's a room for improvement and that can be done. So definitely that, and why not now? And why now? And who will do that? If not you, who will do that? Because we are becoming the third largest economy. By 2030, we have demographic dividend. Can somebody tell me again, my younger friends, what is demographic dividend? Pause. What is demographic dividend? So, किसी भी country के history में only once in lifetime of a country we get demographic dividend. That means that our country will have enough number of young working professionals. It will be like a force. But if this force is not channeled properly, then we know what is the outcome. We are seeing all of those things that mental well-being is creating problems for, because it's a fire. We are all youth. Youth is fire and not channeled properly, and it will actually burn here and there. So it is important that we start to organize our thoughts, and we help Modi ji, our beloved Prime Minister, to actually achieve the goal that we have. I am just here to remind you that you are a powerhouse.